All right, so excited for week 2. Our objective for week 1 was I will be able to create a monster sculpture using clay. That's what we did. Students will use shape to create form and have at least 3 elements of functions such as a mouth to eat, being able to see, and hear. So I have Lil here and we're going to talk about her monster, and then there's my monster. So Lil, what kind of forms did you use to create your shape?
So first off, his head is obviously a circle, and then his 2 indents for eyes are circles, and then he has a square little body and triangle nubs for arms and long rectangles with triangles sticking out as the feet and legs.
Very nice. So I see a lot of form in yours and shape and form. Mine, I had circles for eyes. I had this indent of a circle for a mouth. Little nubs here, but they're like cylinders. I have a long tail. It's almost a triangle here, and then it thins out at the bottom. And then his body's more of an oval. So those are my shapes. And then we're going to talk about, just to recap, the functions. We had to have 3 functions. So Lil, what were your 3 functions?
So since he can't see through his eyes because there's only indents, he relies to feel off of his hypersensitive belly button, which I made sure to include, see?
Okay.
And then he has ears on the sides of his head
So he can hear.
so he can hear. And then his feet work as 2 different things. So his legs and feet, he can walk and grab with these. You see?
So how
long
many
they
functions so far are you talking?
I think that's 3.
Tell me why.
And why?
Yeah, name the 3.
So, hearing, feeling, and walking and grabbing, and his mouth for breathing and eating.
Oh, okay. So we got 4. All right. My functions were, this is more of like a slug-like. So he slithers when he moves. So his tail and his body on the bottom for motion. He has eyes to see. He has a mouth to eat. And so that's the functions, my 3 functions. I have more because he has hands to grab. So I have about 4. So going on, today's objective, we're going to stop there. Before we even reach today's objective, I'm going to stop right there and just, we're going to talk about some of the functions that the students had. So I'm going to pause here. All right. So week 2, our objective is I will be able to complete all detail and color on my monster I have created out of clay. My monster will have 3 functions, such as a mouth to eat, eyes to see, and ears to hear. And we just went over that. So now what we're going to focus on today is just creating the detail. So Lil, what do you think details, what color do you think your monster will be, and what detail will you make?
I think he will be a very bright color. I think maybe this green or yellow.
Okay, why would you pick those colors?
Because I want him to feel like he is not a very serious animal.
Okay. All right. So my color is going to be green, but I'm going to add a little texture like scales because he slithers and he's kind of slothy-like, snake-like. So we're just going to fast forward our coloring. I want you to get an idea of what you want to do. In fact, we'll stop right here and pause, and my students in front of me can tell me what their ideas are real quick, and how they lend to what their monster is already. All right, and pause. And we're back. So we're just going to fast forward and start coloring. We are going to use just regular markers. They go on this type of clay really easily. So if I was using green, you can see the color comes right on it and it stays. So we're just going to use regular Crayola markers, and what you do want to do is fill the whole thing with color because there's nothing white unless it's part of a texture or something. So all right, we're going to fast forward so we don't take up too much time, and here we go.